Okay. And so now we'll talk about cognitive learning, sort of watching and learning. That could be learning procedures or like just recognizing where resources are and this sort of thing, or role models, right? Modeling a behavior. And so let's get into it. Cognitive learning is acquiring new behaviors and information through observation rather than direct experience, like experiencing consequences, right? And so latent learning are learning skills or knowledge from like watching, mapping. This is really good for like learning procedures, location of items, navigating software and resources for our students. I think of Edward Tolman's cognitive maps, where like rats and mice were running mazes, just endless mazes, and didn't demonstrate learning until like obstacles were presented or prizes were presented, and then the rats and mice showed that they knew how to navigate the map, or the maze. And so, by watching us navigate through Pearl, by doing it several times, then they can like navigate software, the location of resources. And then also having a timer in the same part of the screen every time, or having all of the resources in the same kind of folder using the Pearl portfolio or using Google Drive. And social learning is modeling, especially for us, we want to be modeling pro-social behaviors, right? Students are learning behaviors, attitudes, information by observing us and imitating, right? Imitating us. Um, these scenarios actually activate neurons in our brains. Mirror neurons are specifically for identifying behavior in other people that we can copy. In nature, this looks like an animal seeing another animal that looks like them washing grains in a river, and they realize that they can wash grains in a river, right? To have like better grains floating. There's a whole study on that. Um, and in a tutoring session, that can look like responding to an answer in a certain way, right? Modeling instead of saying, "Oh, I'm dumb," right? Using kind words. What a great learning opportunity I just gave us, right? Modeling intellectual curiosity instead of embarrassment or disappointment. And so using us as role models, modeling our attitude toward education, our self-talk, modeling cognitive processes, talking through problem solving. These are the things that I see are important in this problem. Let's write it down and let's solve it step by step. I'm reading aloud, and as I'm reading, I'm thinking about what the main idea is. When I read something that provides evidence for the main idea, I notate it like, oh, that's evidence for the main idea. I'm going to highlight it or something like that, showing annotation. And so I'm going to model a check for understanding right now. And I'm going to model accessibility as well. So I'm going to read the questions here, and I'm going to let you do a matching activity. After this, you can feel free to answer the questions below. You don't have to write this down or anything. So number one, a student learning the steps to solve a math problem. Is that classical conditioning, operant conditioning, latent learning, or social learning? Using the same sound to celebrate when a student answers correctly. Is that classical conditioning, operant conditioning, latent learning, or social learning? Learning positive language by watching your tutor speak positively. Classical, operant, latent, or social learning. Redirecting a student's distracted behavior by replacing it with a fun educational game instead. Classical, operant, latent, or social learning.